Hi my friends, it's Karen and today I'm going to show you how to make my vegan pumpkin bread. Let's go! So this pumpkin bread contains no eggs, no dairy and also 2 times less sugar than a regular pumpkin bread. So it's kind of a healthy pumpkin bread. The secret to make the best vegan pumpkin bread that is moist, light and fluffy is to use a flax egg. To make a flax egg, you basically need 1 tablespoon of flax meal and 2 tablespoons of lukewarm water. If you don't have flax meal at home, you can also use 1 tablespoon of chia meal. You can also use a 1/4 cup of applesauce in this recipe, but keep in mind that applesauce will make the bread a bit more dense and gummy as well. Next, we're gonna use some pumpkin puree. Here, I'm using a canned pumpkin puree, which is absolutely natural, made with 100% pumpkin. There's no additive, no sugar, nothing else. But of course, you can also make homemade pumpkin puree. Below, I will drop a link of my recipe if you want to make your own. Add the pumpkin puree to the bowl. Then you add brown sugar. Here I'm using some soft brown sugar. We just use 1/2 cup of it, which is quite small because, as I said before, a classic pumpkin bread uses up to 2 cups. Of course, you can use some sugar-free erythritol if you want to cut down the sugar a little bit, or also use coconut sugar. Then I like to add a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, just to add a bit more sweetness and also add a nice fall flavor to the bread. Now add any oil you like canola oil or melted coconut oil. Next, we're gonna add some soy milk. Of course, you can also use almond milk, oat milk, any milk you like. Finally, we add the vanilla just for a touch of flavor. Use a whisk and combine all the ingredients together gently. And now it's time for you to add your dry ingredients. The second secret of making a fluffy pumpkin bread is to sift the flour. It lightens the dry ingredients and gives a nice fluffy texture to the bread. So place the sieve over the bowl, add your flour, and now time for the spices. Add some cinnamon, lots of it, a touch of nutmeg, a touch of ginger.
Now add baking powder, baking soda,
and of course a pinch of salt. Sift everything over the bowl. And now use a silicone spatula to stir all your ingredients together. So my last secret to this recipe, don't overmix the ingredients. Just gently mix everything together until you can't see any lumps of flour in the batter. That's the sign that you just combine everything very well. And stop. Then preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius. Now we're gonna grab a loaf pan, 9-inch by 5-inch size, and cover the bottom with parchment paper. I like to spray some olive oil all over the bottom and side to make sure that my bread is easy to remove from the bowl. Now, just pour the batter into the pan and bake in the center of the oven for about 50 to 60 minutes. The thing you should know about a pumpkin bread is that this is a high moisture bread. You are adding so much pumpkin puree in there that it's gonna take quite a long time to bake. So my recommendation is to start with 50 minutes and then use a pick that you insert in the middle of the bread and check how it comes out. If you can see some batter sticking to it, it's not ready, put it back and wait 10 more minutes. Do this few more times, checking quite often until the bread is ready and there's no more batter sticking to the stick. Now the bread is baked and it's time to remove it from the oven. I like to release my pumpkin bread from the pan immediately after it's baked and put it on a cooling rack. This prevents the bread to become dense and gummy again and keeps a nice texture. Now you're gonna cool down the bread for at least 2 hours or even more. You can also leave it overnight over the bench top. If you want to glaze your pumpkin bread, which is totally optional, you can make my maple glaze recipe. To do so, simply combine some icing sugar with almond milk and maple syrup until it's runny and drippy. Pour over the bread. Make sure the bread is cooled because you don't want the glazing to melt down inside the crumb. And now simply add a dust of cinnamon on top for flavor. So your pumpkin bread is ready to slice. This pumpkin bread can be stored for up to 3-4 days in the fridge. You can simply put the bread in an airtight container, or you can also freeze for later, up to 1 month. I like to freeze slices, which is so much easier because you can toast the bread the day before on the bench top and enjoy in the morning. You can enjoy this bread by itself or add some peanut butter, almond butter, a bit of vegan butter as well, as you like. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. If you do, don't forget to give a thumbs up and to press the notification bell down there to make sure you get notified every time I release a new recipe for you guys. Thank you.